As fitness professionals, we try to make things complicated, like you said, to show our credentials, show what we know. And all we're really doing is stepping on our own feet and making things more difficult for ourselves. This system on how I generate nutrition revenue is probably the simplest system anybody has ever seen. At the end of the day, would I rather something be simple and generate six figures, or difficult and maybe not make me any money?
Hey, fitness fans, welcome back to the Future of Fitness podcast and interview series. This is your host, Eric Malzone, and this is episode number 80. I get to talk to Rick Streb. So Rick is a legend within the fitness industry. He has spent well over 3 decades training people and working on what he now has as the CEO and founder of nutritionprofitsystems.com. So let's just take a couple big steps back and let's look at the fitness industry overall. I know there's a lot of people listening and be like, well, I don't do that. But the industry overall, the first thing we do when we get a client is we get them right into the exercise component, right? We start programming, we start teaching them exercise, we start doing movement assessments, all these things. But what is the one thing? What is the one thing that if you got your client or clients to do, you would guarantee their results? Spoiler, it's nutrition, right? If you get them doing nutrition, most people come to us because they want to lose weight, they want to look better, they want to feel better, they want to stave off disease, all of these things. And nutrition's the key. Why do we have it as a supplementary or secondary service? I don't know. I don't know why it started that way. I've done the same thing for many, many years. But here's the thing: is Rick's been doing it for a long time. He has a small gym out of Lake of the Ozarks, and he doesn't have a huge population to pull from in his town. So by necessity, he had to make nutrition systems profitable within his gym. He tells us all the secrets on how to do it. He holds nothing back. So this is a really, really valuable episode. Listen to it once or twice, start implementing it, because he gives you all the golden nuggets that you'll need. And he's just a great guy. So without further ado, let's get on to episode number 80. This is Rick Streb. All right, Rick Streb, welcome to the show, man.
Hi, Eric. How are you today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for coming on. And, I really excited because, as we talk about, what the point of these podcast interviews is to really elevate the fitness profession, right? Get us up there with some of the more well-respected, quote unquote, professions. And I know what you do is so vitally needed. And I'm so excited to highlight here what you do and how you help fitness professionals essentially make more money and do more good, right? For lack of better English.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and we try to help them by making them realize a lot of money that they're leaving on the table every single day.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's do this, Rick. I know you've been in the industry for more than a few days, right? Give us a little background, give us a little story on you, and then we'll get into, kind of the nuts and bolts of what you do now.
Okay. Well, I've been in the fitness industry. This is my 29th year. I think maybe the only person that might in the industry right now that might have more years experience on me is Greg Justice.
Yeah.
Who is a good friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this for quite a while too. And ironically, I started doing it in the same town as Greg Justice in Kansas City, Missouri. So there's a lot of relationship there with Greg and I. So I love the man to death. I've been doing it now for, like I said, 29 years. I live currently in a town in mid-Missouri called Lake Ozark, Missouri. Everybody probably saw the movie or the Netflix series Ozark. Well, that's so about where I live.
Okay.
So I live in a town of 1,400 people. So to say that this is a challenging demographic for a fitness facility, for a personal training facility, is an understatement. But it taught me, I had to learn really quickly how to use all 3 facets of how to grow a fitness business. I couldn't rely on just tactics and bringing new people in like a lot of facilities do. So I had to learn systems to create, there's 3 ways to make money in the fitness industry. Bring new clients, make more money from your current clients, and get them to stay longer.
It's that simple.
It really, truly is. Well, I have to concentrate more on the latter too. Because with 1,400 people, if I just rely on tactics to bring people in, I've been here 19 years now, I would have run out of people to market to.
Yeah. Right.
So
right.
the key is making more money per client, the lifetime value of the client, and getting them to stay longer. So retention is really important. So that's kind of what I have to concentrate on. And I learned really quickly that the way to do that is with nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how my program has evolved, the program that I use to coach other fitness professionals on how to add an extra 6 figures plus to their business every year is through nutrition coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. 6 figures plus. That's awesome. I mean, that's, with the facility I ran, we're a $500,000 facility, but I know that the profit margins, especially on nutrition, are very, very high, right?
Absolutely. And to give you an idea, and I'm not throwing numbers out there to brag, but to show people the potential in their communities, is the last 4 years I've earned 6 figures plus in nutrition alone. Last year was just short of $245,000 in just revenue derived from nutrition income in a town of 1,400 people.
Right on. Right on.
So
awesome.
Like I said, it's not saying I'm better than everybody, because there's a lot smarter people than Rick Streb out there in the fitness industry. But there is money that everyone is leaving on the table. And if I can do this, anybody can.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. And well, you adapted, right? You adapted to what you had to do. I mean, there's a lot of facilities out there in very large metropolitan areas who can churn, right? And can afford to do that with their business model, because there's always a new shipment of people coming into LA, right? But not where you are. So you had to adapt and come through. And obviously necessity is what spurs innovation. And you seem to have got some really good systems. So let me ask you this, Rick. So when I'm going to ask this as if, this is Eric 2015 when I still own my gym, because I kind of really, nutrition was on the menu, for no pun intended, but it was on the menu, and we sold a few and things like that. But I ended up giving a lot of it away for free, right? Because I would do goal setting meetings and things like that with my clients. And it was nutrition, 90% of the time was the first thing that we talked about. It was either lifestyle or nutrition, right? Very few times about program design or internal rotation of the hip during a squat, right? It was never that stuff, right? So that's
not what people are interested in learning about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating to me why we kind of beat our heads against the wall as fitness professionals. So, if looking at Eric in 2015, what were the mistakes do you think I was making?
Okay. Well, the first mistake you were making was you were not monetizing nutrition. First of all, you were giving it away.
Right.
Secondly, you were probably, if you were trying to monetize it, you were probably trying to sell it as a add-on service or, bundling it separately. You were not integrating it directly into your training programs. Okay. So, and think about the disconnect it causes. Okay. We all tell our clients nutrition is anywhere from 60 to 80% of the equation. I've even heard trainers say 90%. Okay. Yet, when it comes to our businesses, we concentrate probably 95% of our effort on exercise, the part that people really aren't as interested in, and only maybe 5%, if we're lucky, on nutrition. So there's a hypocrisy going on in the fitness industry with what we say and what we actually do.
Yeah.
And our clients are smart enough to see that disconnect. Okay. They realize that when you tell them nutrition 60 to 80%, but all you concentrate out in your facility is on the exercise, they're like, wait a minute, he's supposed to be a fitness professional. He's really nothing more than an exercise professional.
Right.
Okay. And that is a rude awakening for a lot of fitness professionals. But if I was working with you, this is what I would tell you, because we have to change our mindset. That's the first key. Is if nutrition is truly 60 to 80% of the equation, we need to be nutrition professionals that also offer exercise, not the other way around.
Right.
And so that is the big thing, is getting that mind shift. Then, like I said, making sure we integrate nutrition seamlessly into everything we do within our training program. It's not a standalone product. It's not something that they can come back and say, I don't want to pay for nutrition anymore, because that's what they're going to do.
Right.
Okay. We build it directly into what we're doing with our training programs, and we add in a price tag for it on top of our training programs. Now you're an all-in-one service. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It makes
So
total
now
sense.
they can't come back and say, I don't want nutrition anymore. It's part of your program.
Yeah.
It's also the most important part of your program. Why don't you want it?
Yeah. Yeah. So here's, going into that, because I think you nailed it, is the mindset of it. So what most people do, including Eric, the gym owner, was go in and I would sell my training services, whether it be group training, small group, private training, at what I thought was a pretty high ticket, right? And then I would feel, and then my mindset was, well, I can't go in and ask him for another $150 a month for nutrition, right? I just asked him for all this money for training. And that's the crux of it right there, right?
Right.
So I'll just be like, well, I'll just offer it for free, but then they also don't value it because it's just free, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly the problem. So the way you do it properly, okay, we're going to dig a little bit deeper in this, is you have certain levels along the way that you can ascend your clients to. Like I said, so when you build something into all your training programs, it's effectively what we're familiar with now, a low barrier of entry or a front end offer.
Right.
So this is something that has to be high value, because it has to add value to your training program. It can't be the typical one size fits all cookie cutter meal plans or ebook or list of approved and unapproved foods like everybody else is given. That won't work, because that makes you just one of the many. We want to be a category of one. Okay. So it has to be something of high value. And now, whatever it is, whatever your style is, we figure out what it needs to be and we build that in. Okay. But we also now, because we're adding it into the training program, we're going to increase the price of our programs. Be it's something that's going to be simple for you, but be it $20, $30, $40 a month, you're instantly going to raise the price of your program because you've added value to your program.
Yeah.
How it's built in. You just gave yourself a $20, $30, $40 a month raise for every single person. That is where you start. Then the next problem we have with most fitness professionals, everybody talks about accountability, how we're going to hold you accountable, etc.
Yeah.
Well, we hold them accountable for their exercise again.
Right.
But when somebody is not compliant with their nutrition, we just give up and throw up our hands.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. That is an opportunity, one, to help your client more, and two, to monetize it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to have a simple way to hold them accountable. And then when they're not compliant, because let's face it, Eric, we could have 100 clients and give them all individually customized meal plans, and still anywhere from 40 to 80% of them are not going to be compliant.
Right.
That's an opportunity. That's not something that we give up on. That is an opportunity to provide them more coaching, to dig in deeper and figure out what's going on, what the habits are that is causing them to struggle. But because it's going to occupy more of your time, and time is something you can never get back once you give it to somebody, it also requires an investment, because like you said earlier, if you don't put a value on it, they don't value it.
Yes.
Okay. And then you leverage your time by doing it in a group setting. I actually do it. I used to do it in person, but now I do them on Zoom, and I could have 20 or 30 ladies on that Zoom call at one time.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, with the first thought I have is, especially if somebody or at one point, and I'm going to keep talking in Eric 2015 terms. I had a gym of over 200 members, right? That's a big ship to redirect, right? In your systems, do you give people tools or
Oh,
approaches
absolutely.
to do that? Like, how do I make
Absolutely.
this sudden change, right? Or seemingly sudden, or is it sudden? Like, what's the pro tip you have there without giving away the secret sauce here of your program? Because I know
Yeah,
you're not
and I I'm very transparent, so it
okay.
doesn't matter. Don't worry about me not giving away the secret sauce. I'll give it all away. I'm very transparent.
Yeah.
You're going to have people that you've been working with. This is what I have to do all the time. We have to sit down and figure out which is the best approach for every particular fitness professional. Like in my facility, when I made this shift, it was very sudden.
Mm-hmm.
All of my current clients, I gave it to them. I simply gave them my front end nutrition offer. And here's the reason. They've been with me for a long time. They've been investing a lot of money in me.
Yeah.
I came to them and said, look, here's the shift we're making in the business because I see this as something that everybody really needs and we need to work on this.
Yeah.
Okay. You've invested in me. I want to return the favor and I'm invested in you as a client and I'm going to start providing this for you. Well, they feel, and I explained to them, now I am going to start offering this to everybody, but with everybody else, I am raising my prices to compensate myself for this. You're not. You've been with me so long. You've been with me. You're loyal to me. I'm going to be loyal to you as well.
Yeah.
That's the way I did it. Now, some fitness pros don't want to necessarily do that. So we come up with other approaches for them with what works best in their facility and what they're comfortable doing.
Right.
But then with everybody moving forward, the price has already been raised.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, I explain when it comes to the accountability and how we're doing that, again, it becomes dependent on the tools the Fit Pro has and what they like doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in my case, I announced it to my clients that we are going to start doing this every week from here on out. Now, in my facility, all we do are weekly weigh-ins. Now, before anybody jumps on me or has an outcry, I understand the value of logging meals and I understand the value of body fat testing and measuring. However, our clients do not understand it like we do.
Right.
And that's another big disconnect. And the key is if they can't learn the way you teach, you need to learn to teach the way they learn. Since most of us are working with weight loss clients, which means it's predominantly women, what does every woman understand?
Scale.
So that's what we do. And we just do weekly weigh-ins. But with that information, I have everything I need to find out when they're being compliant and when they're not. And then when they're not is when we have the conversation with them, which ultimately ascends them into my higher price group programs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I think you hit on. I mean, we always want to push all the knowledge that we have as fitness professionals, right? But we forget we got to meet them where they are. We can't just,
But we're not meeting them where they are.
No,
when we're telling them to log foods and they already think they have too busy a life. When we're wanting to do body fat testing, or you have a woman who's 40, 50, however many pounds overweight, she's already scared to death to come through your doors.
Yes.
Okay. So you sit down with her, you get her to commit to your program. She's starting to feel comfortable. Okay. Which is where we want them to be. That's a key to selling them. So now the very first day she comes in and what do? We start poking and prodding.
Mm-hmm.
And we make them feel uncomfortable again.
Right.
That's a huge mistake in my eyes.
Yeah.
So like I said, I align with them. I get them to understand. And up front, I explain to them exactly what to expect their first day in. And then that's exactly what we do. I let them know we're going to get your initial weigh-in. We're going to take your before picture. It's literally going to take us 30 seconds, and then we're going to be off to getting our workout going. It's going to be harmless. You don't have to be afraid of anything. Your hardest part was coming in that first day, walking through the doors.
Yeah.
And so they feel comfortable from day one instead of getting them feel comfortable and then turn around and make them feel uneasy about themselves again.
Yeah. 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 You know, you make it sound really simple. And I have a feeling, you know, that it probably is that simple, but we tend to make it a little bit more complicated than it has.
And that's it. A good friend of mine, one of my coaches, Pat Rigsby.
Yeah.
He said to me one day, Rick, genius is in simplicity.
Yep.
Ever since that day, about 6 years ago, that's how I try to apply everything. As fitness professionals, we try to make things complicated, like you said, to show our credentials, show what we know. And all we're really doing is stepping on our own feet and making things more difficult for ourselves. This system on how I generate nutrition revenue is probably the simplest system anybody has ever seen. But at the end of the day, would I rather something be simple and generate 6 figures, or difficult and maybe not make me any money?
Yeah. Yeah. So, God, I had so many questions, but I feel like we covered it all. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it happened so fast. I was like, oh, this is going to be a good 30, 40-minute conversation. But really, it's so I think the biggest hurdle, right, I would imagine, is for a fitness professional who's listening right now. They're like, okay, Rick just made this sound so simple, right? You know, he's got 29 years of experience. Of course, it's simple for him, right? But I think the mindset is what's getting in the way of most. And here what it comes down to is my clients will leave me if I raise the rates, right? Maybe I don't know. Like, what are the fears that you think a fitness professional faces?
That is the fears. And that's why I say, so we're not going to raise the rates to your current clients.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give it to them. We're going to give it to them. Their rates aren't going up. Okay. If you've got something and you've already got it built and it's going to be added value, increase your prices by $20 or $30. It's a safe bet. Most fitness professionals haven't increased their prices in several years, and they need to do it anyway.
Right.
It's a very safe bet because, like you said, they're afraid of it. But if you can show people the value of what you're adding, they're going to pay it. People want to pay for value. It's not always based on price like people use. That's just the excuse they use when you haven't showed them the value of your program.
Yes.
I mean, I could even, if you would like, walk through kind of my sales script when I actually talk to a prospect for the first time. And it would show you how adding nutrition increases the value of my product to somebody over another trainer down the road. I'd be happy to do that if you'd like.
Let's do that, because I think that's really important. Because my next line of questioning was going to be about, you know, how does this differentiate a fitness professional in their local market, right? And
Sure.
how do they communicate that difference in that value? I think that's the big thing, which I would imagine is what you do in your sales.
Yes, absolutely. So when I'm talking to somebody, obviously, like everybody else, we first find out about them, what their needs are, where they're struggling, you know, what the problems are, so we can agitate them, you know, and talk to them about them. Now we have to provide our solution. Every fitness professional, if you talk to them, tells their clients, we're going to give you the guidance, the motivation, and the accountability. Everyone says it. So you're not saying anything different. Where with us, the way I do it is, okay, Eric, here's what we're going to do. Now that we understand everything and we talked about it, we are going to provide you with the guidance, the motivation, the accountability, and individually customized registered dietitian design and approved meal plans. This isn't a one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter meal plan like everybody else is offering you, but your meal plan is going to be designed specifically for you. Your age, your weight, your height, your health history, your goals, what you do for a living, foods you like. Because let's face it, Eric, if I tell you to eat something you don't like, you're not going to do it, are you? So what we're going to do, Eric, is we're going to provide you everything you need to be successful. I'm going to serve it to you on a silver platter. And if you simply follow the instructions, your results are 100% predictable. Fair enough?
Fair enough. So sign me up, Rick.
But you see how adding nutrition to that really increased the value of my service over everybody else's?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
see how it was positioned to do exactly that. Now, I don't care if you just breaking into business. Learning to do that is going to make you that category of one. It is going to separate you from everybody else.
Yeah.
And it was a very simple script. Now, obviously, everybody has to make something like that work to their personality. And that's something else I work on with these coaches when we do it. I mean, I make them role play their sales scripts constantly because I want to because that's the key. This is a sales business that provides a service. It's not a service that we sell. So if they're not selling, they're not helping people.
Yeah. And I think it's even easier for a fitness professional to just get started to set everything up this way, right? There's less resistance from multiple angles. So, when you look at, I mean, it's so obvious. And, every person who's been in the trenches for more than, 2 or 3 or even 1 year realizes that if you can get into someone's nutrition, you're going to get results and you're going to get retention, and you're going to get referrals. Yet we do everything so backwards, right? Like,
exactly.
Why did that start? And you've been in the profession for 29 years. Why did that happen? Why did it evolve that way?
Because somebody saw somebody that was being successful with their business and they simply tried to copycat what they're doing. And it's just a trickle down theory. Unfortunately, we've become an industry where everybody looks alike because everybody follows what they see somebody else doing that's successful, and they try to follow suit without necessarily knowing what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what happens. And so, and then one person starts saying, well, you can't do anything about them if they don't follow their nutrition. Well, if that person is a authority, people listen to that person, they respect that person, they believe what they say.
Yeah.
And it's the truth of the matter is that person just found a lazy approach,
right,
and made an excuse why they're not doing what they need to do to be the best coach for their clients. I mean, let's face it, think about this a second. If your clients realize that you have the one single thing in your arsenal that will guarantee them success and you don't give it to them, how would they feel?
They would feel betrayed, I would imagine.
Exactly. And what is the one single thing that will guarantee your client's success?
Nutrition. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, right?
I mean, every one of those trainers, you hear them with the mantra, you can't out exercise bad diet.
Right.
Well, what are you doing about the diet?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think what we're doing, we're circling around an underlying major issue with the industry or the profession overall. Right now, because, we have a digital marketing agency that we do work, and everyone wants lead generation, and it's driving us crazy. Doug and I were talking about this morning. It's driving me batty, right? Because everyone wants lead generation. What does this tell me? It tells me that people aren't investing in a business or brand, right? They're looking for short term, and they're not retaining, right? If you're constantly needing
the problem is they're looking for tactics instead of installing systems in their business that guarantees prolonged success.
Right.
And that's what I was saying when I was talking about where I'm at. If all I did was work on the front end and bringing people in, running transformation challenge after transformation challenge, or the next 21-day detox and all that, those are simply tactics.
Right.
If there's no system to keep people and to get them results and to keep them long-term and to retain them, those tactics are going to wear out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But lead generation is, quite honestly, yes, is it important? Correct. But it's not as important as the other things if you want a sustainable business.
Yeah. Well, what if you're in a market of 1,400 people? How many leads are you possibly going to generate before people have seen your ads 3, 4, 5, 6 dozen times, and then they just can't stand Rick anymore because they're in their face all the time, right? I mean, it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And let's face it, somebody who's paid you once, your current clients are willing to pay you again. They already know you, like you, trust you.
Right.
Where you have to build that know, like, and trust factor with people you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So increasing the lifetime value of every client should be a priority over lead generation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's so easy because lead generation is, many people think, and many times, with the right type of lead generation, it's just a faucet that you turn on. And it is, that's what 6-week challenges do, right?
That's
That's what
exactly right.
21-day resets do, is they turn on a faucet for lead generation. But what happens when, because I know, because I've done it, I've made all the mistakes, man. made all the mistakes.
We've
And
all been there.
yeah. And what happens is you scrape your market, right? And
Yeah,
then
I ran my first 3 challenges and they exploded. And after the third one, I was like, I mean, they were still doing it, but I was like, well, wait a minute. I've had 30 or 40 people, and each time I do this so many times, I have no more people to keep in my facility if I just let them walk out the door. I need to do things better within the 4 walls of my door, to make what I do outside the 4 walls more valuable.
Yeah. And I think lead generation, like you said, is a tactic which has the right place, right time, is very, very useful. If you have your systems in place, your product and service works, your retention is high, and you need an extra 100 heads in the bed, then you do some lead generation. But what happens often is we put that cart before the horse. And once again, I know, because I've done it so many times, right? And then I'm like, well, oh, my membership's low. Well, I just need more lead generation. What happens is your service is broken. Then people have a bad experience. They leave, which is 10 times worse, right? Because now they'll never refer anybody to you. In fact, if someone asks, they'll be like, well, it was okay. I didn't hit my goals. So I went over to, Joe's gym next door.
Yeah.
And
I went down to Anytime Fitness and decided to do it on my own.
Right. Because they found a blog, that
right.
works. Yeah.
And it's and what happens there, and honestly, the reason, and we're kind of getting a little bit off it here, but the reason I think that happens is because when we're also constantly thinking about lead generation, we're looking at each one of those people as a dollar sign.
Right.
They don't become a relationship. And you build a sustainable business, again, what's going on inside your 4 walls, that's where the relationship is built. Okay? And people will realize if they feel like they're just a dollar sign to you.
Yeah.
And when you're going from tactic to tactic, that's exactly what you feel like to folks.
Yeah. And once again, I made that mistake. So, Rick, where do you see yourself in 2 years? I know you've been in this journey for a while. Where do you see your business and your impact expanding over the next 2 years? I'm curious.
Where I see it expanding for me is in the coaching of other fitness professionals to help them make more money, show them where they're missing opportunities in their business. Okay, here's a good analogy. And I learned this one from Chris Record, who's a brilliant marketer. I don't know if anybody follows him, but he's really brilliant. Look at your business like a bucket. And so we draw our bucket, and our business is about 3/4 where it needs to be. But we want to fill that bucket. That's where we're talking about our revenue. Right. But along the sides of the bucket where that water is, there's holes where we're just flushing out money.
Yeah.
We have to patch those holes, okay, before we can get that up where we need to be. Well, what I want to do is, what I'm doing with my coaching program is helping fitness professionals patch those holes in their business.
Awesome.
Finding where the problem is. In 2 years, that's what I want to be doing predominantly. My daughter is a senior in high school this year. When she graduates, I plan on turning my physical business over to somebody else, enjoying my life a little bit more with a little bit more travel, and going and visiting the fitness professionals that I work with, actually seeing their business. Again, it's a relationship thing. I want it to be a relationship, and I want to be able to get out there and see what they're doing. I love connecting with other fitness pros. I love talking like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I prefer this over writing emails or anything. I like talking with other fitness pros. That's what I really enjoy, and that's what I hope to do more of. And when it's all said and done, I want people to feel like I am helping taking the fitness industry into the direction it needs to be going forward.
Awesome. I love it. I'm right there with you, man. not as quite as much experience, but I want the same thing. And I travel a lot already. So just come find me. Promise me when you get to that point, we'll have.
Yeah, I get to travel a lot too now. I enjoy that. But I plan on doing even more.
Yeah. Awesome. So where do people find you, Rick? If they want to get more information on you and your programs, which I highly encourage you to do, because it's, a good system that's already been worked out over 29 years is way faster and easier than doing it yourself. So.
And there's other fitness professionals out there doing it now too.
Yeah.
Are being highly successful. They can reach me at nutritionprofitsystem.com.
Mm-hmm.
That is the website. They can reach me on Facebook at Rick Streb. I mean, if I see they're a fitness professional, I'm going to go ahead and accept their friend request because I know we have a common bond that we can maybe help each other.
Cool.
They can call me. They can pick up the phone and call me. I literally put my phone number on any website I have. Because I love connecting with fitness professionals, and I'm usually the one that picks up the phone. That's one of the things that a lot of the industry influencers say. You call Rick, he's answering the phone. Yeah. It's not like you have to go through his secretary and set an appointment. Rick picks up the phone and calls you back. Yeah. I love connecting. In that respect, I'm still old school.
Yeah, I love it. And, anecdote too is when I first started this podcast, one of my very first episodes was with Dan John. And when I emailed him and asked him if he would come on the show, he said, sure. And he gave me his cell phone. He's like, call me tomorrow. I'm like, that's it?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what the industry influencers do. Because we want to build relationships with other people.
Right.
We want to help people be successful. Technology serves its purpose. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we are a people business. It's called personal training for a reason.
Yeah.
So we need to be personal and not hide behind technology all the time.
Yep. I love it, man. Rick, thanks you so much, man. This has been really insightful. And I know for a fact, Eric 2015 would have got so much out of this and probably have just, by now have stopped the recording and just walked off and started writing how I'm going to implement this and dates on how to do it and when it's going to happen. So, I love what you're doing. I know for a fact you're making an impact. And for that, I appreciate you coming on and doing everything you do, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time today. I enjoy, again, like I said, I enjoy doing these things.
Yeah.
If I could do this all day, it would be my perfect, profession.
Awesome, man. All right, Rick. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Streb. Hey, fitness fans, don't leave yet. It's your host, Eric Malzone, and I have a quick favor to ask. Actually, 3 favors. So, number 1, if you're a fan of our show, I ask you to do something that takes under 3 minutes. Go to iTunes, please, and subscribe to our show. Please, please, please. It means so much to us. It's so important. And then give us a favorable review. We would really, really appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much it means and helps us out. So I know it takes 2 minutes of your day, and it means a lot to us. So please do that. Number 2, go to our YouTube channel, our Fitness Marketing Alliance, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel there. Number 3, if you like this episode or any of the episodes that we've released, share it on social. That's huge. That's a big deal for us. And we put a lot of work into these episodes, trying to give you great actionable content for the fitness industry. So that would mean a lot. And that's it. So we have some big plans coming up for this show. I'll be talking about that in the next couple episodes, but thank you so much for listening. It means so much. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love to hear from everybody. Eric, ERIC at fitnessmarketingalliance.com.